Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the markets in EVE Online. Now, yesterday I made a quick video about the upcoming drone changes. I did try to stay pretty general in my commentary there, just because I was not showing the dev blog itself. But of course, EVE Online is such a complex game; it's all about the details. So someone did ask me to talk a little bit more about this, specifically about like the impact of these changes possibly to the market of drones. So we'll take a look at that at the end of EVE Talk, but also about that skill that you needed to train, and more about the changes. So yeah, let me quickly show you guys. Just in case you want to read the dev blog for yourself, you can just go to the browser, press dev blogs, and here you will find give drones an assist. So let's have a quick look here. Here you can see the current use of the different drones depending on the faction. So Galente are used quite a lot, Minmatar next, and then the Amar and Kaldari ones are hardly used. So they are going to try and fix that. And here you can see how the Galente drones will still have the highest damage, less speed. The Minmatar ones will have more speed, less damage, and the Kaldari and the Amar ones will be a little bit closer to either the Galente or the Minmatar one, so that should help. About the drone skills, let me see here. We are also splitting the current combat drone operation skill into two new skills: light drone operation and medium drone operation. This means that all light combat drones will now be unlocked and bonused from the light drone operation skill, and medium combat drones will be unlocked and bonused from the medium drone operation skill. During the patch downtime, existing players with the combat drone operation skill trained will receive both new skills trained on to the same level as their current combat drone operation skill. So if I go here, not sure if I have it on this toon, but you just have to go for your skills, look for drones, and it's combat drone operations. Let me quickly check that. Yeah, combat drone operation. Here I have that at level 2. On my oldest character, this is actually from a trial account. On my main, I do have that on level 5. I think I read it on Reddit, so don't quote me on that. If you want to be 100% sure, I would say train combat drone operations to level 5. But it is possible that scout drone operation will actually count as well towards those skills. But the scout drone operation is only a one-time, so I would not be surprised if the small one, let's see, a light drone operation and medium drone operation, so if the light drone operation skill will actually end up being linked to scout drone operation, and the medium drone operation one will be linked to combat drone operation. So there's still a little bit of confusion on that. CCP did want to help people out, even if they were newer, but I would say there's still plenty of time. If you want to be sure, make sure you have combat drone operations to level 5, and if you want to be sure, once again, make sure to have scout drone operation there as well. Drone control range increased by 5,000 meters. It's only a one-time skill, and it's actually a pretty important one. So yeah, just make sure that you train at least this one, combat drone operation, to level 5, and then you should be good. If you want a little bit more about what this could mean for the future here, I always do go and look at the comments. There are often dev posts that do help out a lot. Here, for instance, CCP Fozzy is giving some more details on the changes to the sentry drones. For instance, here, Curator 1's plus 15% tracking, minus 50% fall off, plus 18% damage. That's not bad, and as you can see, they're Take 1 versions. All of these get a boost in damage. Even the Guard 1 gets plus 2%. And then here for the Take 2 ones, we have Curator 2, plus 15% tracking, minus 50% fall off, plus 8% damage, not bad. The Warden 2's plus 40% fall off, plus 2.67% damage. Those will be pretty great at range. Guards, plus 50% fall off, minus 6.5% damage, etc, etc. All of the details are available here. Personally, I still think a lot of this let me see here. In practice, damage with Tech 2 guards and bouncers will be going down a bit, but with bouncers gaining a lot of tracking and guards gaining a fair amount of fall off, while damage with Tech 2 curators and wardens goes up a bit. So as I've said, they do want people to be able to use those faction specific drones a little bit more than they are being used now at the moment. And so I do think that, for instance, if you're exploring or doing missions, the damage type of thermal, kinetic, EM and explosive, depending on the weakness of the rats you're shooting, could end up becoming the deciding factor on which drones to take. Whereas at the moment it's really all about the guards and all about the Galente drones in PvE, for instance. So yeah, that's definitely what they're planning to do here. Anyways, we are also here for the market, so we're going to start off with Plex, writing down 545. 704 million for the sellers, 691 for the buyers. Is that a little top forming? Yep, it does look like it. 20-day moving average still going quite strong, but Plexes have started moving sideways at around the 700 million mark, so that is good news, I think. It is of course a nice round number. 700 million is quite a lot. And I can imagine that at this point some people are saying, well, I'll just pony up the real life money, buy a few Plex and just get 700 million ISK out of that. It's definitely a part of it is a psychological thing, where breaking 700 million is going to be something that only lasts for a little bit, because then people do decide to bring new supply to the market. The question is, of course, are we finally going to see a turnaround? Unfortunately, you know, now they're putting up sales for the ship skins and stuff like that. FanFest is coming as well. There could be uses for Plex on that. I would not be surprised if it could hold close to the 700 million mark up until FanFest, which is about a month away. So personally, I'm not looking for a pullback on the short term. If I'm wrong on that, that would be great news, I think. But yeah, with FanFest being just a month away, I do suspect that Plexes are actually going to move sideways more than anything at the moment. Next up, we'll have a look at some minerals. Let's put down 720 for that. And here we go, titanium. This is the 1 year chart. Now for minerals, a 1 month chart is a lot better because supply demand is very important here. We can see that for most of the month, titanium went up from, well, close to 485 to almost 520, definitely broke 515. Now it's coming back to around 5.10, where the 5-day moving average and 20-day moving average are meeting. It does seem like this is going to become the consensus price. There we go, 510. Actually, here we go, 510 for the buyers. 2 billion units, very recent orders. I'm still seeing way more demand than supply. If I look at the next prices here, 519 to 520, they should actually go back up towards the 520 mark. So yeah, minerals have gone up for the month. Titanium pulled back a little bit after a heated increase in price, but it's still slated to go up if you look at this much demand here. Let's have a look at pyrite. That one is correcting actually towards 1235. That's a bit surprising, counter to the trend. Although for the most of the month it's been moving sideways. Now I am interested in a little bit longer ago. Yeah, it's actually definitely a downward trend here after a big spike in February with the big battles. So let's go. Yeah, let's see supply demand here. 1 billion, 1.2 billion, 100 million. Yeah, I'm seeing more demand than supply though. 1246 are the sellers. That's back up here. So it looks like the end of the week was actually quite punishing for pyrite as well. But I am still seeing this pretty high demand. Prices on the sell order side of things are above the chart. So I'm seeing pyrite move back up, honestly. Let's have a look at Mixalon then. Here again, yeah, again a pullback in the last few days after, well, I would say a sideways movement for most of the month. Although starting on here at close to 48 with a peak towards 49. 0.4. A correction after that is normal. If you look at supply demand, yeah, here that's a pretty big order, almost 500 million units, and that's pretty much in line with the biggest buy order as well. The rest of it does show more demand than supply, but this one is going to be a real problem at 47.50. That's very low. So yeah, Mexalon probably won't pull back because of this huge sell order. That one is going to move more sideways until this gets absorbed by the market. That's a huge amount, because it's equal to the, pretty much equal, I should say, to the biggest buy order as well. That's a lot of supply coming in all of a sudden. Let's have a look at Isogen, and that one went up for the month nicely, and again a little bit of a correction in the last few days. And here again, ooh, that's a pretty big order here again. I need to check Tritanium, nothing like that. Pyrite, nope, nothing like a billion. But both in Isogen and Mexalon, you have one of these really big orders at 133. That's here on the chart. That is going to stop any upwards momentum in these two minerals. Yeah, that's an unusual situation, not something that I've seen very often here. This is a huge amount, 638 million units of Isogen being sold. 97 and 94 million are the two big orders that jump out. Daily is maybe 200 million, is that correct? Yeah, something like 200 million units. So this is a huge order that is going to decide the price for probably a week. It's going to have a serious impact here. Let's see in some less common minerals. Here is Noxium, up for the entire month, and again a little bit of a correction in the last few days. Supply demand again here, 32 million units coming in. Someone has been dumping stocks. Very, very interesting to see that here. It's pretty recent here as well. And what is the price? 733. So yeah, that's right around here. So this is in line with the correction. And if the buyers start to go down in price a little bit, they don't put up new orders, but they just start to pick at this huge sell order here. Noxium could actually be in for a correction a little bit. Let's have a look at Megasite, up for the month, mostly sideways for the rest, so this should be pretty much, well, here is a 2.8 million units, 157, yeah, that's around here somewhere, so that's going to be your floor. But for the rest of it, well, it looks okay here. On the supply side as well, there's a bit of competition here in smaller orders. So yeah, Megasite could continue to move sideways, I think. And finally we have Zydrine, again up for the month, yep, and correcting in the last week or the last few days. And let's have a look at supply demand here. 4 million units coming in, that's a lot. That's pretty much the entire top half of the buy order side. So 730, just below that, is a pretty high price though, but that looks more like a sideways future for Zydrine too. So yeah, this is pretty interesting. The only two minerals that I'm seeing a clear demand that is outstripping supply, I would say, is Tritanium and Pyrite. And then you have these really big orders in Mexalon, in Isogen and in Noxium, where somebody has dropped a huge amount of minerals. So someone has decided to dump their stocks at these prices. Interesting stuff. Let's have a look at the impact on Tech One chips then, 1330. Quick look at the Drake chart here. Well, this can count as a sideways movement, I think. Top at 47.8, bottom at 46, but still hanging around the 47 million mark. These 204 are of course a problem. That's a huge amount of supply, so most of the momentum is actually going to be downward, I think. 47.2 million, yeah, don't expect this to know a spike like this here again. This huge sell order is going to put a stop on that, but other than that, it's really supply demand, you know, 10 10 10 10 10 13, whoops, excuse me, 13. That looks decently balanced, except for that one older order that is putting a ceiling on where Drakes can go. So yeah, more sideways movement can be expected, a little bit of a downward momentum perhaps. Maelstroms 182 186 looks decently balanced to me. So overall, yep, here again 1 month is on a sideways movement despite a decent dip from 190 to 180. It's right back to 190, and it looks like it's actually going to hang around these prices for quite a bit. Let's have a look at the Omen. Oversupply on this one. So despite the sideways movement, I would say there could be downward pressure for Omens here. 10.4, yep, that's the sell order prices. There could definitely be some downward momentum here. The Rock up for the month, yeah, from 188 to 198. That's not bad. Yeah, perhaps a little bit more demand than supply here. 2, 3, 2. Well, actually no. Here we get 6 and 5. So that looks like a healthy market. With for some reason demand is outstripping rocks a little bit, although it's not that visible, but people are purchasing them quite actively straight from the market, because that's pretty much where the price is hanging at. And then finally we have the Talos. Ooh, now that's interesting. Look at that, hanging at 72 million for quite a while now, all of a sudden up to 78 million on sell orders. Obviously big supply coming in, so this is going to be short-lived, but data points as high as 84 million ISK. That's quite unexpected. Someone must have either come to buy a lot of Taloses here and caused this quick spike. Supply coming, responding very quickly though here. 51 units, 10 units, 10 units. That's a lot more than what's on the demand side. So this will correct back. But I would say a small opportunity maybe to unload a few more Taloses at prices above 72 million has just shown itself. Let's have a look at Tech 2 ships. 1625. So these are my trade opportunity ships. I do prefer to go back to like the 6-month chart here. Absolution, decently flat and definitely back from its bottom here, closer to 185. So nope, I would not be looking at investing in Absolutions here. Astarte going up, yeah, from a bottom below 200 million. So maybe coming close to more of a selling opportunity. As you can see, not that much supply. And yeah, maybe close to a selling opportunity here. Claymore up as well here. So yeah, look for selling opportunities here. Damnation, awesome for trading. Really nice big spikes here. Breaking 225, so going down. If you look at the momentum on this chart and how this worked out last time with these spikes, start looking into buy orders, I would say, if you want to invest some trade money into the Damnations. EOS, pretty much sideways. If it comes closer to 280 though, which is an all-time high, they tend to bounce off from that. You might want to look into a buying opportunity, but it needs to come closer to 280 before that happens. And here again, 11 units at 288. It's a big amount of supply, so this opportunity might actually show itself if the price comes back down because of oversupply. And then at 280 is where the price does seem to bounce back up a little bit. Maybe interesting one here. The Guardian, decent spiking behavior. Now it's back, breaking 140, 133 for buyers, 136 for sellers. Medium term, you know, I think this could be a decent investment. Some Guardians at the moment. Nighthawk is working on its little spike after breaking, what would that be, 215, something like that, being the price point where it bounces right off and then goes all the way up to 234, which is right around here. Yeah, that's actually not bad. Probably a 10 million increase here all of a sudden. That's pretty interesting. Sleipnir, look at that, that was a very nice spike, 215 to 260. The correction of that is of course normal. You might get some more intermediary spikes, but that are very small. I find that very risky to go into the Sleipnir market now, unless you can still unload some that you've bought very cheaply. I would wait for the price to come back towards those 220 before investing any money. And then the Vulture also doing its spike. A data point here at 195, that's quite unusual. 220 to 230 though, that's right around here. So yeah, the buying opportunity is over already for the Vulture. It probably did come close to that 205 mark if you look at this data point and this part of the chart. And so again, once it reaches like a 6-month low, these ships do tend to bounce back up very quickly as people move in on this opportunity. of increased either demand because people watch them go so low, or maybe it's actually traders that are really doing this with the Tech2 command chip. So yeah, this is pretty interesting. Again here, Vulture, you're looking at a sell opportunity. If I look at this chart though, I would never have invested into the Vulture until I saw this real big drop here. So you have to pay very close attention for the Tech2 market. Let's go and take a look at the Tech3 market, 2010. And oversupply, if you want an example of that, 50, 10, 66 are the three lowest sell orders. That's way more than the entire buy order side of things. So the Legion, despite two small spikes that they try to do, breaking 130 and going down with no sign of a bottom. I mean, 128 for Legion, that's really not a lot. Loki 126, so this one here again, oversupply 12, 84, 67. There are some buy orders, but they only start to form now at 120. So yeah, not too good. Proteus 131 to 125, again going down. The oversupply here 19, recent order 13. That's a little bit older. But I guess the demand simply isn't there because people know that they are going down so substantially. Here again the Tengu, very very low, 122. At 122 million, people are still bringing batches of 62 Tengus to the market, just way more than the market can absorb at the moment. So this could go even lower, and it's still not a good time. It's not been a good year. I think it's not been a good 2 years for people producing Tech3 ships, and it's still terrible. Oversupply is still reigning supreme here. Melted nanoribbons coming to 4 million, but here again, here we do see 310, 824, 105. People are really on that on the case here. Whenever melted nanoribbons break 4 million, supply comes in right away in big numbers. So this probably is going to stabilize and maybe correct a little bit here. Okay, pretty interesting. Now let's have a look here. Let's put down 22 minutes at the drones very quickly. Not sure what picture we're going to see here, but I'm going to go for a 6-month chart. This feels pretty stable, you know, around 3,400, although coming back from 3,000 here, a little bit of a spike that might be attributed to the announcement, but nothing too serious just yet. Let's have a look at Hobgoblin one. Yeah, that one went up a little bit and did break 5,500, but here again, supply 10,000 units, 9,000 units. I think this will actually be okay impact wise on the Tech 1 drones. All of this is up a little bit, but if you look at this as a 6-month chart, it's pretty stable. Let's have a look at some Tech 2. Excuse me, I need to drink a little bit. Oh, that's better. That's definitely a spike. Look at that. Acolyte way up. Hobgoblin 2 down. Hornet sideways. Weird. And Warrior 2 going down. Interesting. I would say Acolyte 2, the Amar one, is the winner here for some reason. If you look at the 1-month charts, it's definitely the announcement that has pushed up the Acolyte for some reason. If you want the details, again, go check out the dev blog, but this is what the market seems to have chosen as the big winner of this announcement. Acolyte 2 up quite a bit. Let's have a look at Sentry drones. I do think this could be interesting. I will go back for a 6-month chart just to get a feel of what has been happening. Despite these spikes from 140 to 180k, overall, as you can see, pretty stable around 140. And no drastic movement at the tail end here. Curator pretty much the same, Guard 1 as well, Warden 1 as well. Bouncer 2 pretty much stable, Curator 2 down a little bit, but that's still well in line at around the 1 million mark. Guard 2 stable just below 1 million, and Warden 2 as well. So I'm not really seeing a huge impact here. You know, all of these actually just get brought in line a little bit, and personally I do feel that a lot of missioners already take mission-specific Tech 2 sentries out. The reason I think that we're not seeing a lot of movement in the Tech 1 versions, except here, Infiltrator 1, yeah, a little bit of a spike here, interesting. Valkyrie 1, Vespa 1, none of these really move, is because they're so cheap to make. So Hammerhead going back down, Infiltrator again way up, Valkyrie 2 going down, Vespa 2, okay, nothing drastic to see. I'm really surprised to see that it's the Amar drones, which, well, they do look really cool, are showing this big spike with the announcement. So that's a little bit of a surprise to me. Whereas the Hammerheads is the loser, but that's been going on for a while, so I would not attribute this to the announcement. So it's definitely the Amar ones where something has moved enough to decide that to decide people to really take the opportunity and try to make some money. Berserker, that still looks normal. Ogre probably as well, yeah. Praetor 1, nothing to report. Wasp up a little bit, but it's not a spiky behavior. Berserker 2, that's way down, but this is part of a spike, so this is okay, you know, coming back towards 540, 560 is a normal thing for the Berserker. Ogre 2 feels pretty flat. Praetor 2 up a little bit, but I would maybe not say that this is announcement related. This is a gradual increase in price. Might just have been that the announcement came on an increase in price, and so it's not as drastic. But yeah, not really seeing that here. And then Wasp 2 feels normal, you know, 950,000 or 1 million. This is pretty much normal behavior for those markets. Maybe I'll have a quick look at the fighters. Well, Dragonfly knew a spike. This one knew a spike. Yeah, there we go. The carrier. And these look pretty cool as well. the carrier pilots have made their move. You know, they're investing in fighters just because the carriers and super carriers are going to move away. Again, here that spike from a drone sentry setup. So here the Mantis up a little bit as well. The Shadow, that's a weird one because it's quite a unique one. Oop, let me see here, and the Turfing up as well. So yeah, interesting stuff, but the only real movements I'm seeing here is again in the Acolyte 2. So the Minmatar medium and small drones, the Take 2 versions that is. And in the fighters and fighter bombers markets, where all of them across the board have known a nice little spike, with the carrier and super carrier pilots needing those because they will actually break this sentry doctrine that's going on at the moment. Pretty interesting. On the Tech 1 versions of drones, I think it's actually normal because it's such an established market. It's so easy to make them. They're very cheap that just any increase in price is just going to get absorbed by new industrialists by producing a little bit more right away. So that impact, it's normal that's very small. I'm a little bit surprised by the Tech 2 Amar ones, but the fighter and fighter bomber increase in price is actually quite normal if we look at this dev blog. So pretty much a normal reaction in my opinion. Anyways, that's it for EVE Talk, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.